mean, are we shocked? Are we shocked at all by what we just saw? We knew this team has not been good. It just hasn't been good the last 6 games. And, you know, even the game against the Giants previously, the one that we won, that became a nail-biter after a big halftime lead. Then it was a big halftime lead against the Cardinals. And again, we took an L. Now, at least Sirianni, you know, through the mess, decided let's pull starters out, you know, once the game got out of hand. But, you know, it wouldn't have mattered who was out there because this team, the play calling on offense is the most horrific thing I've seen in years, probably ever, as an Eagles fan. Like, it's horrific. The defense can't stop a parked car. They just cannot get a stop to save their life. Can't tackle. Can't cover. And, you know, at least now, looking at the defense, you're like, okay, it's the young guys are out there and they're getting, you know, field time and they're getting playing time. So at least in that sense, you're like, okay, if we're going to get burned, let it at least be with young guys on the field, like rookies and 1-year pros or something, right? I mean, like, what's inexplicable to me is when the veterans are out there and they look like utter dog shit. That's what's inexplicable to me. And at least on the defensive side of the ball, besides the defensive line, on the back end, you had young guys back there. So, yeah, there's really not much to say about this game. They made Tyrod Taylor look like the second coming of, you know, the Messiah all of a sudden, right? Like, he was out here dealing. They looked like they lacked toughness. They looked like they didn't want to be there. And I don't blame them. It's week 18. We haven't played well. Why play the starters? Again, I'm not going to kill Nick Sirianni for that. I'm not going to kill the Eagles coaching staff for playing their starters because I can guarantee you if Dallas lost to Washington and we benched our starters, you would be killing the guy. So I'm not going to kill him for playing the starters. I personally would have just punted this game and said, okay, you know what? Sit Jalen Hurts, sit A.J. Brown, sit all the vets that we can and just, you know, kind of go into the playoffs. We're locked into the 5 seed, right? But again, I don't blame him for trying to find a way to get this offense going, to get this team going again, because at this point, I think the guy, you know, these players don't know what to look for. The coaching staff doesn't know what to do. It's just been a train wreck. This right here is the Super Bowl hangover. There's no other explanation other than, you know, this is what happens to teams. The team has not looked good. It's been bad. It's been soft on defense. It's been terrible on offense. The play calling is atrocious. The quarterback play has not been good. The receivers have, you know, I mean, like guys, you look at the counting numbers and you look at them and you're saying, wow, you got a 4,000-yard passer or whatever, or close to it. You got a 1,000-yard rusher. You have 2,000-yard receivers. You know, we average like 25 points plus a game on offense or whatever the hell it is. But it's just been atrocious. And to lose to the Giants in this fashion is not a shocking thing to me anymore. I said this weeks ago on Instagram, because we have an Instagram page at the Riding the Bench podcast with a K instead of C in podcast. Go check it out. Highly recommend the follow. But I said we would be lucky to win a playoff game the way we looked, especially after Seattle. That was the downfall of the season. I can deal with getting your ass kicked by, you know, really good teams like Dallas and San Francisco. And even Dallas, it's not like we didn't move the ball. We moved the ball on them. But from Seattle onwards, this inexplicable drop-off in offense has been, I have no idea how to explain it. Hell, even in the Arizona game, the offense only scored 24 points. 7 of them came from the pick 6. So I'm numb to it now. I'm just numb to it. We got the Bucks, And I'll break that game down in another episode later on. But I'm just not like at this point, there's nothing to discuss with this Philadelphia Eagles team. There just isn't. It's been a dumpster fire since the bye week. And what's mind-boggling to me is the list of teams that we've played and we've beaten. We've beaten guys like Miami, like Kansas City, like Buffalo. We split with Dallas. We beat teams like the Rams, who are on a hot streak right now. We beat the Buccaneers before. These are not bad teams that we've beaten. And all of a sudden, I don't even know. That's this team. I just can't figure out. They can't figure out. Coaching staff can't figure it out. So, there's nothing else to say about this team other than that we would be lucky to win in Tampa Bay. And that's the game that we have to look forward to next. Going on the road to Tampa Bay. And as an offense, we can't call plays right and we can't handle the blitz right. And the one thing Todd Bowles does as well as anybody is dial it up and blitz the quarterback. And, hosting a playoff game for Tampa Bay is a wild success for them. So they're going to come out with energy. Hopefully the saving grace, hopefully those little sliver of hope, the optimistic fan in me, even though it's non-existent, is going to say, hey, we're 0-0. It's the playoffs, whole new season. Turn the switch on. But you know what? I'm not expecting it anymore. So it is what it is. I got nothing else to say. On that note, I'm gonna call it a day because at this point I don't have the energy for it. So please, we'll see you back here next time. I'll break down the Buccaneers game and the Eagles game coming up as we go on the road to Tampa Bay, and we'll try to find ways that we can win the football game. Let's see if we can do it. Right? On that note, please take care. We'll see you back here next time at the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast.